How do you think your parents' views formed your ideas about race and color?
Well, I think my mother, by virtue of being a member of what she's reflecting in that passage is the fact that she is acutely aware that in Jamaica, the same kind of racist standard that was being held against her in England worked to her benefit. Mm-hmm. The brown-skinned person got all of the advantages and held their brownness over the blackness of people further down the scale. So she was honest and wise enough mm-hmm. to understand that she had no standing to get up and cry racism or to point the finger at someone else's bigotry. And I think what that attitude has meant for me is from the very beginning I've understood that the racial question in my case is very complex. And I've also have always felt very strongly that I cannot use my own success in any way as I can't extrapolate from my own experience towards the experiences of other people of color. Mm-hmm. That I've had this, this anomalous experience where skin color has not been, for the most part, associated with negative consequences.
Right.
And it's the shock of racism to a West Indian like my mother is profoundly different than the shock of racism to an African American mm-hmm. who was born and raised here. In one case, it is the repeated, body blows where you never escape this kind of. And the other case in the West Indian, it's this shock at something that you would never have. It always begins with, what on earth are you calling me black for? I'm not black.
Right.
Like, surely you're looking at, I wrote a piece once in the New Yorker where I talked about driving through Washington, D.C. with my cousin, and who is and her husband. And her husband is Jamaican, much browner than me. Not black, but, pretty brown. And my cousin asked me, can we drive through the parts where all the black people live? Said in such a way that, meaning not him, mm-hmm. black people, like this other African-American thing of which, as a Jamaican, he felt no part. Mm-hmm. And that's the West Indian attitude, right? And it's a much different, a much lighter cross to bear.
Absolutely. Well, it's because everyone's black.
Yeah. It's because it's just a whole different, and that...
It is.
It's very, very important for people to understand, particularly when they look at how successful West Indians have been in this country. The success of West Indians in this country is not proof that racism doesn't exist.
No, of course not.
It's proof that West Indians come from a completely different environment.